All right, everybody, it is Tuesday, and I'm your instructor, Pierre Huey, aka Mr. P, the P for Patience. Today is Tuesday, October 29th. It is 9:30. We starting a little bit later than expected, but bear with me. All right, so way I do it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, divided up in 4 sections. The 4 sections coincide with the 4 domains that we have per the CIB. What is the CIB? If you haven't been watching, I help people study and pass barber theory. The CIB stands for the Candidate Information Bulletin. The CIB's purpose is to give you an idea of what they're looking for when it's time to take your barber theory exam and when it's time to take your barber practical exam. Okay, it's 2 parts. My home state is South Carolina, and in South Carolina you have 2 states that you have to pass. In my state, you have 2 parts that you have to pass to be able to get your barber's license. That's theory, that's practical. Okay. I have noticed a lot of students have more trouble with the theory than they do the practical. So I said, all right, this is where I can apply my skill set the most. It is where it's the most needed. And with that being said, we will get started today. All right. For all my TikTokers, you just have to just listen in. For everybody else, I got my screen shared, and we are talking about hair care services, which accounts for 40% out of 100% of your barber theory content of what they're looking for. All right. So we're going to talk about that real quick, and then we will find a place in the book, which is this version. I just got the email yesterday that they will be coming out with the new version of this in January, and I am very excited because I want to see if there's any differences. I want to see what they add. I want to see what they took out, and I want to see how it applies to my study and the things that the content that I provide going forward. All right, cool. Hair care services, 40%. We're going to talk about it. We're going to scroll through. All right. You have A, B, C, D, E. You have 5 points of contact. All right. A, client consultation, analysis, and documentation for hair care services. All right. That includes analyzing the conditions of the client's hair and scalp, recognizing conditions, things that will prohibit service, determining services and or products, document and maintaining client records. B, you have hair care, applying knowledge of the following: draping, shampooing, conditioning, scalp treatments, and scalp massage manipulation. Okay. Draping would include for chemicals, shampoos, or hair cutting. C, hair design. How y'all doing? Hair design, applying knowledge of principles, procedures, and safety of hair cutting, applying knowledge of principles, procedures, and safety of hair styling, and then applying knowledge of hair enhancement options. D, applying knowledge of preparation, procedures, and safety for head shaving. E, apply knowledge of principles, procedures, and safety for chemical services. Okay, understanding preliminary tests, hair coloring, hair lightening, foiling, chemical hair relaxing, restructuring, curl reduction, chemical waving, and texturizing. All right, let me say something real quick about part E, okay? This point of contact. So, applying knowledge of principles, procedures, and safety for chemical services. Guess what? We're talking chemistry all over again. All right? Here's where things get weird if you haven't been studying. So when you take the test and you fail, they're going to give you a breakdown of the 4 domains. Okay, like we was talking about, 4 domains is implements, tools, and equipment. That's the lowest percentage. That's 10%. Facial hair and skin services, 15%. And then you have scientific concepts, and you got hair care services. Chemistry is in both of those. So sometimes if you're looking at your score report and you say, oh, well, I missed all these questions in scientific concepts and I missed some in hair care services, those chemistry questions could be either or. You have to be a little bit more. So scientific concepts is dealing with chemistry, the concept meaning atoms, molecules, how they work, physical changes, chemical changes, things like that. But then you got the chemistry that's within chemical texture services when you start talking about hydroxide and what it does, hair relaxing, curl reduction, what it is, chemical wave and texturizing, the pH scale, all that stuff. So you have to know that both of them have concepts involving chemistry, but which chemistry concepts, which ones are more technical and which ones have more instance when it comes to how it interacts with the hair, how chemical products are made up and how they interact with the hair and how they interact when it's time to do a certain type of service. Okay, so that's a big one. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what we'll do today. We will talk about that one. So let's find predisposition and strand tests. And a funny thing about a predisposition and a strand test is it scares the hell out of people. When you hear a predisposition test, people are like, oh no, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I wouldn't know the first thing about it chemically and all this stuff, which is hilarious because it's very, very easy. So we're going to start there. We will start our work there. And what I like to do is go to the index and reverse engineer my way back. So predisposition. PR. Nope. There we go. If you're studying with me and you have your book, we're going to page 662. All right, let's talk about a predisposition test, aka a patch test. All right, an individual's reaction to an aniline derivative tint can be unpredictable. Clients may show an immediate sensitivity or allergy, by the way, while others may suddenly develop an allergy to the product after years of use. We're going to talk about that in a minute. To identify a client who has a sensitivity to aniline derivatives, the U.S. Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act prescribes that a patch test, also known as a predisposition test, be given 24 to 48 hours prior to each application of an aniline derivative tint or toner. All right, so primarily my audience gets haircuts like mine. Okay, that's the best way I can say it. That's the easiest way to identify who I'm about to talk to. So your other typical clients that may go to like a salon or things like that and get certain chemical services, they already know what I'm about to say. Okay, this is me talking to my primary client base, my students' primary client base, and my area of the industry when I say this. Let's talk about Beijing or black dye. Okay, I'm break down what all this shit just said. All right. So patch test, 24 to 48 hours. Let's say you got a full beard, you got gray in it. You want to come in, you want me to dye it black. That is a chemical product that I am putting on your face. Okay. Guess what we're going to have to do? A predisposition or a patch test, 24 to 48 hours. What that means, you come in, let's say you want to get this done on a Friday. You want to get the actual service done on a Friday. I'm going to at least have you come in on a Wednesday, if not a Tuesday or a Monday, and we're going to do a patch test. I'm going to take a little bit of the product and I'm going to put it somewhere on your face or right here to see if you have any allergic reactions, if you have any reactions whatsoever, if you have any sensitivities to it. I need to see what it's going to do to your skin. Okay, that's all a predisposition and a patch test is. But that's for any chemical service. We need to know, are you going to have any type of reaction to it? Do you have any allergies to it? And if you do, what is the effect that it's going to have on you. Okay. So we talk about this all the time in the shop, because you have people that just call you up and just say, hey, Friday at 12 o'clock, I want to come in, get Beijing. I want to get my beard dyed. And a lot of times barbers will be like, yeah, okay. No, that's not okay. We need to know what's going to happen. We need to know if your skin can handle it, right? Even if you went to a barber previous from us and you had success with it, I still want to know for myself. I need to be able to see if I'm going to be providing a service. I need to know. I need to see it with my own eyes. So I'm going to have you come in and do a predisposition or a patch test. That's all it is. Matter of fact, when you take it on the practical, they're going to have you basically take a dollop, D-O-L-L-O-P, a dollop, or a look, just small little dip, and you're going to put it back there. That's you doing a predisposition or patch test. Okay. We need to know what the chemical is going to do. If I have a female client and she wants to get her hair blonde or she wants to get it dyed a certain color, guess what? You got to come in 24 to 48 hours for a predisposition or a patch test. I need to test and see if this chemical or if this bleach or if developers or lighteners or any of that is going to have some adverse effect on your skin, especially with the different volumes. All you color folks and bleach folks, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about them volumes, you know, them 20s, them 30s, them 40s even. Okay. Next, strand tests performed for color applications to determine. I'm pretty sure y'all know where I'm going with this. Strand test wants to know how the hair will react to the hair color product, how long it will take to process, and what the final outcome will look like. After the results of the patch test, the strand test is the next step in performing a hair color service. And a strand test is a smart, safe thing to do. But unlike patch tests, it is not required by law. Let me say that one more time. Strand test is smart and a safe thing to do. But unlike patch tests, it is not required by law. Okay, what's the difference? The difference is the patch test, the predisposition test is on your skin. The strand test is a test of a chemical product on your hair. That's the difference. Okay. So if somebody came in and they want color, even if their hair is as low as mine and they want color, guess what we doing? We doing a predisposition test, or also known as a patch test, or and we are doing a strand test, because we need to know what the chemical is going to do to the skin. We need to know what the chemical is going to do to your hair. Now, the difference is the predisposition, aka patch test, is required by law. Required by law, especially for all you Beijing folks. Required by law. I'm not just taking you and just being like, yeah, man, come on and get that beard dyed with Beijing Friday at 12 o'clock. And we don't do no type of test. Nah, that's not what we doing. Okay. Let's see. Form color applications determined. Yeah. And again, on the practical, you have to do both. It's a section. It's a section for the master hair care. You have to do a predisposition and a strand test. But now you know what both of them are. And that goes into the hair care section. We're talking about chemicals, right? In the chemistry chapter, they don't talk about predisposition and strand tests, but it involves chemistry. Y'all see what I'm saying now? So let's say they asked you a question like this, and it's involving chemistry, but it's more of the practical side. It's more of the application side of the chemistry. And you need to know the differences between the two, so you're in a position to answer to the best of your ability. You should have the answer, but even if not, you should be able to reverse engineer your way to an educated guess, because you're thinking, your mind should be putting these types of categories in a certain order that you can go through them and you can process this information. Okay, that puts us at 15 minutes. That is my time for today. And again, if you or anybody that you know can benefit from my services, I do have a more in-depth and more high percentage course, meaning we identify things that are 75% or higher likely to be on your test, and we just deal with that. We just focus on that. Okay, that is a paid course, but you can find it the same place you can find me, at Pierre Huey, Pierrehouey, on all social media platforms. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will talk about facial, hair, and skin services. Okay, y'all have a wonderful Tuesday.